You're listening to Sip and Grow the podcast, the show where we taste awesome, delicious wines while having unfiltered conversations about our passions, experiences, struggles, entrepreneurship, and life. My name is Nicole Di Pasquale, and I'm a wine enthusiast just trying to pursue her passions and dreams while taking you on the journey with me, one episode at a time. My ultimate goal is to not only bring you wine knowledge and value, but also inspire you to enjoy your process and journey in pursuing your passions and dreams. Because guess what? The person you become while enduring the process is more important. So sit back, grab a glass, and let's sip and grow together. Hi guys, welcome back to Sip and Grow with me, your host, Nicole Di Pasquale. I am excited once again to see you guys back here tuned in. And today I have a special wine for you. So one of my coworkers, he has worked at many other wineries around here, and he was telling me that he has a lot of bottles at home that he wish he had all the time to drink. And he brought me one because he was like, oh, I'll bring you one for one of your episodes. And I was like, absolutely, yes, please bring me wine. And I actually, I looked into the history and the story behind this vineyard. It's super cool. So Syrahs are actually really, this is a Syrah, and they're really big here in California. And this one is called Anthill Farms 20, and it's a 2020 vintage Syrah. I thought it was so interesting because I love the backstory behind this. So let me go ahead and open this up while I explain to you their backstory. So this vineyard was actually created by three friends. They are three friends that had no money. They weren't born into the wine industry because, a lot of times people inherit wines, like vineyards, or because it's been within their family and they know all about it because they grew up in that, or, it tends to be someone who has a lot of money to invest in a vineyard because it is pricey. Like, you can't just be, one day be like, oh, I'm going to buy a vineyard without having the capital to do it, right? And these three guys were just kind of three guys who enjoyed wine, and they did work within the industry. So what I thought was funny when I was reading about them, they described the article I was reading about them was like, oh yeah, they were known as like cellar rats, which I was cracking up because technically it's kind of what I am right now, at the place I'm working at. But cellar rats are basically a term for like people who like clean the hoses, the tanks in a winery or a vineyard. And I was cracking up because these guys were like working at well-known vineyards here in California, and they knew the entire process of like how to create wine and all that stuff, and they've been working in the industry for so long. But one day they all decided to get together and create, wow, the wind is winding and something almost fell into the wine. Sorry, let me get back to the story. So they decided to create a vineyard of their own. They said they woke up one day and were like, you know what, let's scrape together some money and start making our own wine. And they did, and they created this. So what they did when they started making wine at a crush pad facility, which a crush pad is basically a facility where you can crush the grapes to start the winemaking process. So the first thing you do is when you pick the grapes from the actual vineyard and the vines, you have to crush it to start making, start getting the juice out. And usually if you are at if you're working at a specific vineyard or winery, they have a crush pad there in their facility. If not, there are facilities that have a crush pad that you can use them, and there's a lot of people here that just use a crush pad facility to make their own wines. So it's all about who you know. But I thought it was a really cool story because these guys came from literally having no money, just a passion for wine and decided to create something of their own. And they created this bad boy. So this is actually, oh, you see, the wind is winding and there's something that fell onto the glass. So it's aggressive out here today. I don't know if you could tell, but I'm struggling a little bit with the wind, but it's fine. So this is actually from the vineyard they call Peter's Vineyard, because they have another vineyard. I forgot the name of it, but this one specifically is created in Peter's Vineyard, which they have Pinot grapes there and Syrah grapes. So this one is a Syrah, and we're gonna go ahead and pour it. And it's on like the north edge of the Petaluma Gap here. So it's very cool and foggy climate. I'm gonna cover my wine so that none of this flying particles get into the wine. But it's not that big of a vineyard. I believe it's like an acre big, which is not that big. I'm sitting on 100 acres right now, so that's not a lot of space, but it's just enough to make, I think, it said under 3 tons of wine that they make from that specific section in Peter's Vineyard. But I don't know, I thought their story was really, really interesting and cool, and like kind of inspired me. Like, okay, cool, like I'm someone who would eventually like to have their own place and vineyard, and that's cool that they started from not having anything to having something, right? And I just love stories like that. So let's go ahead and try this wine. Already looking at it, it looks fairly young just based off the color, because the deeper the purple usually tends to tell you that it's still fairly young. Yeah, so it's like a dark ruby red. Let's see what it smells like. I'm already getting like hints of vanilla. And I don't know, usually when I taste, which we'll see now when I taste this one, but usually when I taste like Syrahs, they have like a very velvety texture and almost kind of like warm, velvety, I don't know, smoky, but we're gonna see. So let me grab my handy dandy little chart here and see what I smell. I definitely smell spices in there. I smell like cloves, cinnamon, vanilla for sure, and almost like a toasty, smoky flavor with a little bit of oak. And there's something else that I quite can't like put my finger on it. What is it? I think it's like a cedar plank, because I literally just smelled it and it smelled like salmon cooking on a cedar plank right now. I know that's very specific, but that's what I smell. Anyways, let's go ahead and taste it. Okay, I was not expecting this. So it doesn't have that velvety texture that I told you that usually when I have a Syrah, it has that texture. It actually went down very smooth. It's very well balanced. I almost feel like I got hold on. It's like a very spicy wine, like spicy in the sense of like I taste like pepper. It's peppery, but almost like there's a little bit of licorice in there, but it's not too intense that you're like, choking on tannins. I think I just found my favorite Syrah from California, because I tried another Syrah from Longboard, which was very good. Don't get me wrong, but very different. But this is a yes. This is a absolutely yes. 10 out of 10. Highly recommend. If you like very spicy wines, like it's almost like like I feel like I'm getting like autumn spices in here. Like this is October. You're outside in October. Just you drank your pumpkin spice in the morning, and then you had this for dinner. This is what I taste in this wine. This is a pumpkin spice wine for me. I really like this wine. I'm definitely finishing this bottle after this episode. No judgments, please. But overall, I really was inspired by their story because, like, just reading about them and the fact that they were like three normal guys that wanted to get together and build something or create something for themselves, I was just like, it resonated a lot with me because I think like a lot of us always have, or at least for me, right? Like, I have all these ideas and all these things that I want to build. And, I've always been someone who's taken action on things. And specifically when I take messy action, like things always work out for the better. But I know there's a lot of people out there that it's kind of like, it's hard for them because they have all these dreams and aspirations or goals, and they don't go after them because they allow fear to stop them or like what other people say to stop them from doing it. But I just feel like life is so short and we're here to enjoy it and try to understand it every single day and learn about ourselves every single day. So like why not go out and do something that you enjoy or you love? And at the end of the day, you don't know until you freaking do it. Like if you do it and it ends up not being something that you enjoy doing, then okay, at least you can check that off your list. And I know not everyone thinks that way or, views things differently or has different circumstances, but I feel like where there's a will, there's a way, right? Like you just need to analyze your circumstance. Everyone's dealt a different card. You can't be upset at someone else for having a different life than you do because at the end of the day, like your life is your life and you were dealt the cards you were dealt with. Now what you do with those cards is totally up to you. You can't just be, sitting back being upset about how, this person got dealt this card and that's why that they're there. Like everyone has to work hard to get to where they're at. Like you can't just expect to be, wake up one day and have everything you want. Like everything has a process. Everything is a learning process. And I think the beauty is the journey to get to where you want to go. Because if you really think about it, like when you officially succeed at what you're trying to succeed at, you just kind of get there and you're like, okay, cool. Like I did it. So what's next? And then, like I think the beauty is in the process to getting there. And that process teaches you so much about yourself. It teaches you what you like, what you don't like. It teaches you resilience because I enjoy bringing, these episodes to you guys and doing these episodes, but there's a lot of work that goes behind all of this. This is, the filming and the editing for me is the fun part. There's so much behind the scenes that is like overwhelming and intense. But I wouldn't have it any other way because I know good things take like it takes hard work to get good things, right? Like you can't just expect to receive a bunch of great things without putting in any type of work. If not, everyone would have abs. Like, if everyone didn't have to work out to have abs, like they would have abs, right? I know that's like a stupid analogy, but I feel like that's the best way to describe it. Like, if you want something good, you're gonna have to work for it. And like, good things take time, but they're worth it in the end. And I think it's better to live a life, working towards something than live a life where you are constantly living in regret and you're almost kind of like uptight or upset, like living every single day kind of like grumpy about the fact that like, oh, I could have done this, but I didn't because of this, this, and this. And like, you're just constantly in the negative, and it's kind of like, no, like, get out of that mindset. Get out of, you know, I coulda, shoulda, woulda, and be like, day one, we're starting. Whatever happens, happens. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But I learn something new. I figure out something else that I really actually enjoy, or I meet someone in the process that's leading me to my next step. But everything, once you realize that everything is connected, your life will change. Because when you realize that whatever you do today and right now is going to create your future, you're going to be living every day like you're super happy. You have the best day ever. Your perspective's going to change. You're going to be more positive. And I just think, like, when you're in that mindset or in that energy, you just start attracting all the positive and good things your way, because how you are is what you're going to attract. So if something's not working out in your life, you need to really sit down and think about it and be like, okay, what am I doing that keeps on attracting this kind of person or this kind of behavior or this kind of experience? And then when you flip the script and be like, what can I change on my end to stop attracting that? And once you make that small adjustment or that small change, is when you're going to see everything work out in your favor. Anyways, we got very deep there. But I hope you enjoyed this episode. And once again, if you haven't downloaded my aromas wheel, go ahead and download it. It's in the link in my bio and my stand store. And check out all the other PDFs and goodies that I have there for you guys if you're interested. And I can't wait till the next one. I'm going to go ahead and finish this bottle because it was delicious. Cheers. Until the next one, guys.
In the middle of the night, I'm trying to